Hey there guys, it's JDM Overload, and it's so nice to see you guys again. It's been a super long time. I got this messed up haircut. It's summertime, a lot of things have changed, but it's nice to see you guys again and make another JDM Overload episode. And this time, I got Supra. And before I start on this, I want to give a special thanks to my boy Jason for loaning me his car for a few hours so I could talk about it. I've always wanted to drive a Supra ever since I saw the first Fast and Furious, when they go and they're driving down the road and they come across that Ferrari, right? That was a badass scene, and here's my chance. I finally got to do it after years of wanting to do this. So, a little bit about this car. I don't know how much you guys know about Supras, but this is 93 Supra SC. That means it's the NA model, doesn't have a turbo, still has the 2JZ, but it's the 2JZ GE, the non-turbo version. And it's still surprisingly powerful. It produces 220 horsepower. It's rear-wheel drive. I believe all the Supras are rear-wheel drive. And it's overall, it's a nice GT style race car, or sports car, excuse me. Another unique aspect, the Fast and Furious aspect, is it's one of the few models with the target top. And I think that's super cool. I thought all the Supras had target tops, and I guess I just don't know a lot about Supras. Apparently they're pretty rare. So this is one of the few models with the target top. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, Jason, how the hell did I take this out? Because I want to drive around with the top down, right? So I thought, like in the movie Fast and Furious, you just go be like, hey, you hit a button, it just flies off, and you're good to save your friends who are trying to hijack a truck. But in reality, what you have to do is there's 4 Allen screws. So there's 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then there's one big lock nut in the center that you have to turn. And it's not super tedious. It does take a little work though, but it's not like the movies. But anyways, I got it off, and I'm pretty excited about it. Let's see, a few other things about this car. So it has Redux, I hope I'm saying that right, Redux body kit, front and back. And it actually has a functional rear diffuser. It has 19-inch rims of an unknown brand. And also it has 10 coilovers, but they're not adjustable. Apparently, according to Jason, it's a pretty harsh ride here in Korea. And also, he said that some of the only mods he has so far are a 3-inch Blitz exhaust, and also he has, I think he has a cold air intake, but I'll put that on the screen if I was wrong about that, or any other mods I missed. But so overall, it's a stock Supra SC model, and it's a beautiful car. Oh, also this hood, this is a carbon fiber wrapped hood. It's not full carbon fiber hood, but it's a beautiful car in person. It's one thing seeing a movie, one thing seeing it in real life. All right, so one thing I heard about the Supra is that when the Toyota designers were coming out with the next gen of Supra, they actually modeled it off of the female form. So that's what gives it its sleek, fast, yet aesthetically pleasing look. And I think that's really cool. So it's like made to appeal. All right, so that's where the target top goes, obviously. And I did not do my Toyota Supra research, so I'm not exactly sure what these are. I don't know if that's supposed to stay up like that when you're driving, or if these come down, if it's broken or whatnot, or I think it forms some sort of seal. I'm not exactly sure. So anyone who's a Supra enthusiast and you know what those thingies are, please let me know. And I like this really high spoiler. I have driven this car a little bit, and it does kind of get in your way, but for the most part, you kind of forget about it, and it looks really good in the car. And I'm sure it provides downforce as well. And those lights though, man. I think that's one of the most, I guess, things that make it stand out as a Supra. Just like the Skyline has its own unique lights, the Supra's lights definitely stand out, and they're very beautiful. All right, guys, so I talked about like some of the little things about the car. I'm not gonna open the hood for now. Maybe if I have a little bit more time today, I will, but I'm running on somebody's schedule. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive this thing already and just give you my overall impressions of it. But so far, I mean, I love this car. I drove on the back roads a little bit. It has a very solid feel. When I was going around some curves, it just feels like it's unreal. So, I mean, I know it's not the turbo model, and I know that's very important to people. It's also not the, sunlight. It's the automatic too. I know some people are like, oh, it's no the manual. Oh my God, I don't even want to touch that. Just get out of my sight. But anyways, it doesn't matter. This is a nice driving car, 220 horsepower to mess around with here in Korea. That's plenty of horsepower here. If you've ever driven in Korea, I think you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and drive this thing. All right, you guys have no idea the struggle I had to go through just to get the camera set right. Ugh, the life of the YouTuber. All right, so first impression sitting here in interior, it has that 90s feel to it. Obviously, it's not like the greatest looking interior, but it's definitely unique, and that's what I like about JDM vehicles. The Japanese definitely tried to give their cars character. And with this, it looks almost like a F1 cockpit or a fighter plane cockpit. It's just very driver-centric here, and I love that. It's just like it just wraps around you, and I think that's super cool. I don't know if the carbon fiber is aftermarket. I'm assuming that it didn't come like this back in the 90s. You have a huge RPM gauge here. You got your speedo, your RPMs, and all your other necessary gauges to drive your car comfortably. And speaking of comfortable, this I don't know if it's like this bolstering that he bought later on, but this is super comfortable here. He said that this is one of the most comfortable Japanese sports cars there are out here. I totally agree with him. He said that he could ride this for hours all the way from here to Seoul or to Busan. I totally agree. It's just a nice touring car, while at the same time it has that super sporty feel, very low to the ground. Visibility, not the best, but overall, I think so far I like it. So anyways, enough talking, let's do some driving. You got oh no. Oh no. Luckily, Jason always comes prepared. Driving the 93 Supra. Stupid phone. Okay, I don't know what that sound is. All right. What's that sound? It sure is making a lot of sounds. So as my friend said earlier, this is a 25-year-old car. So it's gonna make a lot of sounds. There's a lot of creaks and bumps. When the target top was installed, it was creaking up there too. I've driven it about a mile, and I really enjoy driving this thing. And I will say, this is not my ideal vehicle in Korea. This vehicle does not perform well here just because everything's so tight, small roads, people all over the place, you know, lots of bumpy roads. So as I mentioned before, this has those non-adjustable tin coilovers. So every little pothole you hit, every little bump you hit, it feels like your car is just like going doot, 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 and it's just not that comfortable. And I'm not trying to contradict myself when I said earlier, the seat is still very comfortable. It's just the ride is a little rough sometimes. But so far, it's a very fun car to drive. I mean, it tracks, like when you're going around those curves, I mean, you feel like it's kind of hard to break loose. It just wants to keep turning. It has a very, it could take a lot of G's before it breaks loose. Very low to the ground. As you saw, I had a little trouble earlier, but overall, I'm enjoying this car. As you can see, he has this aftermarket steering wheel on here. Definitely gives it that Gran Turismo feel. Very nice road feel on this car. So I own a Mustang GT here in Korea. I also own a Nissan Skyline R34, naturally aspirated, but still R34. And I would say of those two cars and this car, the Mustang gets quite a bit of attention. The R34, I get a few weird stares because it's just, you know, unique looking. But even amongst those cars, this car is an attention magnet, but it's like the wrong type of attention. You just, not only am I a foreigner here in this country, I'm driving this crazy, like, rocket ship looking thing, you know. So I'm getting stares left and right, and even at the gas station, they're just like, man, this dude is crazy. I'm gonna blur your face out. I'm actually in the middle of making a video, but like, I don't know what it is. Every time I come here, I either run into this car or I run into you. What's up, man? How you been?
Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah. What's going on?
Is this like what, a review video for Anderson's car here?
Yeah. Yeah, he let me take it. And I thought I would take it kind of long distance to oh yeah, let me actually turn that off. I actually had an issue with that earlier. Actually, the car actually I had to like jump it once already. Yeah, luckily he has a, what's that sound?
That's what I'm saying, but you see it's fucking steam coming out of there.
Oh shoot.
Oh, it doesn't have a...
Yeah. I don't know, it's been doing that, and I've been checking the gauges. It's not getting hot, and it did leak a little fluid earlier, but I don't know. Honestly, don't know what that is.
I mean, I'm not professional mechanic or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the engine retuned a little bit. I got the rear brakes replaced, and then there's just that issue with the alternator. That
Yeah.
was the problem.
I forgot how nice this car looks on the inside.
Yeah, you kept it up really nice.
Yeah, it has a really nice interior.
Repainted the wipers too, because those look pretty shit before. Yeah. It's a little dusty,
Yeah.
but at the moment.
You got any buyers yet?
I had a few people ask about it, and then, like I said, one guy got shut down by his wife, and I had someone approach me on Friday. He said he would get back with me.
Yeah.
Sometime this week.
So it's been a very long day. I really appreciate, that kind of scared me. Jason, I really appreciate you letting me borrow your car for pretty much half a day. getting to try it out here in the Korean countryside. It was a real blast to do it. And yeah, guys, I don't have a lot to say because I've repeated myself a lot during this video, but I had a good time in this car. One thing that I think doesn't change between the models of Supra is the steering. The handling is superb. What the heck is that sound? That is really annoying. Anyways, I hope you guys don't hear it because it's really annoying. It's like, anyway, handles very well, with the coilovers even more so, with the struts, just like a go-kart, a giant go-kart. Gas, like miles per gallon, not too great. I had to put a little gas in it. Comfort, pretty good. Suspension is a little harsh, but overall pretty good. Overall, would I get this car? Well, yes and no. So if I was in the States, yes, I would definitely get this car. But here in Korea, just like my Mustang, it's kind of a hassle to have a car like this. Hard to park. It's just not built for these kind of roads. And you know what? It gets all the wrong type of attention. What I didn't show you during that video with the gassing up the car, the guy was very rude. And I rolled up, he stared at me. He gave me kind of a hard time till I got out. I was like, what's the problem? And then he said he couldn't get the pump into the what do you call it? The gas pump into the hole or whatever. And I feel like if I had just, even if I rolled up in my R34, I might not have gotten that attention. But this thing's loud, it's red, 2 no-nos in Korea. It attracts all the wrong attention. I don't think I would really want this in Korea, but in the States, yeah. Definitely the one with the Target. The Target top is fun during the evening like this. I would never drive this out in the sun, but overall, great car. He's done a lot to it, and I really appreciate being able to drive this. You guys have a nice day, night, whatever time it is there, you enjoy it. I see you guys in about 3 months. No, hopefully I'll see you guys sooner than then. Later.